going forward, my name is Operator Mick for a reason. Before this phone call, you guys inspired me to share some stuff. I talked to my lawyer and I went over my NDAs before I made this phone call.
Oh boy.
I am what you would call a spook.
Oh boy. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, right. Um, where to start?
Do you
You
want
guys, it's all real.
to tell people what that means? A spook?
Without going over my NDAs, a spook is somebody who makes things disappear for the verse of the deep state.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're not talking about magic here.
No.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify for the listeners.
If anybody knows about the Majestic 12 and what I'm about to go into, that was my world for 13 years. It is very real. You guys, it's all real. Bigfoot, Dogman, it's all real. I'm going to be honest. I've been watching IRL for many years, and then Shay, when you started this, I was curious, and I just one night just started watching you guys, and I'm like, you know what, I think it's time for me to start speaking. I've had friends who are on the whistleblower list in Congress, who have been slowly coming forward. I'm yet the reason why I hide my name in that way is I'm not there yet on the public sphere. Now I'm retired. I started out as a Marine recon unit. So a lot of people don't know. So basically my job by the time I was picked up through contracting, long story short would be mercenary. The way basically my job, just to fast forward, because I can always make other phone calls to you guys, but you guys have inspired me to speak, and I'm going to speak today.
Okay, let's hear it, man.
My job title would be called a STAG, a Strategic Tactical Armament Garrison. Our job was to neutralize special cryptids and capture and retrieve, basically a retrieval unit. I have met over 3 different species of hominids, of Bigfoots. I can tell you regions of the country where some are very aggressive. That's why you have missing 411 cases, and some that aren't. In other areas, I was more specialized if you ever heard of the rake. So a lot of people don't understand where a lot of these cryptids come from. These are slice geno projects. That's why you have so many 411 missing cases, is that when it comes to the alien situation, this is a playing ground for them. And people don't understand that. And so the geopolitical sphere that you see in the underworld would be called the black sphere of the world, meaning, deep state and things that are going on, going back even to archaeological digs. Like, for example, just to pinpoint, one of the earliest UFOs we have actually gathered, it was going back as 1901. That's as far back. And that was in the Sahara Desert.
When Teddy Roosevelt was president.
Yeah, like we're going back far. Now you have to understand where a lot of this comes from. At the time they didn't know what was going on, what it was when they found it. And the reason why during World War II, well, actually New Mexico in the 40s, when the first and the Roswell crash, things started to make sense because the ship was still operational when it was shot down by the EMP blast. And so a lot of these things were held up into to old school, DUMBs, deep underground bunkers. So now just to circle back, my job was to hunt. Basically, when they had a containment outbreak, they would send us. That would be the terminology would be spook.
And what does that mean? Containment outbreak, something that they've been working on that got out of a lab?
It means what the higher ups, meaning the extraterrestrials are playing with, got out.
Oh, okay.
And we would contain. Like I said, I can't go any more than that.
Okay.
All I'm going to say is I've got a lot of stories for you guys. And I say this with a heavy heart because I have lost friends because of this, meaning they've died.
Can you say how you were hired?
Yes. So after Iraq and Afghanistan, so basically you take a special test. They look for so basically USSF guys, when they're looking for certain protocol testing, they sent you through rigorous various of requirement testing. They don't tell you what. So when you go into the contracting field, they don't really tell you what the jobs are. They when you go to test that, you're just trying to get a contracted by the best corporation. And so when you're going in and you're taking the testing, a lot of the times they look for certain aptitudes of your knowledge. What are you good at? Are you, in this case, me and a couple other guys are considered supernatural in a sense, not like we're special in that way or anything like that, meaning we have a very innate ability to track and to hunt things. And that's what made us so good at, Marine recons and things like that, special forces and, Army Rangers. It's our ability to track things and to neutralize the containment of the unit.
Well,
so
can you say what was your first job?
Yes, actually. So this is where it gets really crazy. One of my first jobs, I was expecting to go out of the country, and this is where it gets weird. I was already actually, you know what? Let me backtrack just a little bit. I'm going to tell you when training started, and this is where it gets weird. This was out near Quebec, northern Canada. This was during training. And here's why this leads into the first contract. For 6 weeks, they put you out in the middle of nowhere, and you're monitored the whole time. My sergeant at the time was like, hey, you're going to go down there. They just want to see how you do by yourself in the cold. And out of nowhere, he hands me my gun. He says, hey, no one's listening right now, but 3 guys have died down there. And I'm looking at him going, what? And he goes, there's something down there, and they are probing, and they want you to find out what it is, but they don't want to tell you that. I get dropped out there. By the third night, again, this is supposed to be training. This is my introduction to this world. By the third night, nothing happens around the campfire. I'm in the middle of the forest. A large moose-looking head with red and yellow eyes, basically it's interchanging, is staring at me for at least a couple yards. I grab my rifle and I literally stared right at it. This thing stood up like 15 feet tall. I'm going, I don't know if are we allowed to cuss on here?
Yeah, it's late enough.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if we're allowed or not. I know YouTube rules, but S word.
That's fine.
Yeah. I start laying down rounds because Marine mentality, shoot first, ask questions later. So I start laying down fire, and I get my radio. I said, guys, there's something down here. No chatter back, nothing. Now, luckily that thing ran off. Luckily, so just to fast forward a couple weeks later into the 6 weeks, I get heloed out, and they told me, they said, welcome to the team. You have done well in during introduction. That was a Wendigo. And I'm going, what? And they said, yeah, that is what we call a class 4. And I'm like, a class 4? And they said, yes, they're very violent. And no, the old versions you hear from the Navajo Indians and all these things, it's that, yes, that they are somewhat true, but it is more in depth than you think on the extraterrestrial side. These are containment units that have been released. A lot of people think meaning in the deep state, we believe that it's like a plague that these extraterrestrials have released on our planet. But a long story short, that was a class 4. So different classes, meaning a class 1 is a less violent, like you would get like a Sasquatch or in a way like a goat man. Now, I've never seen a goat man before. I mean, I've heard talks, but that's beyond me. I've never seen one. And then being the field I was in, that one's like, it's like the Mothman thing. I don't know. But I will tell you, I have a class 5 would be a dogman.
Okay.
That is a real species.
And you've seen
They
those?
they are very violent. I've personally watched a whole unit get slaughtered on camera. They are very territorial. And here's what's scary about this. Every time there has been an outbreak, spheres and certain types of UFOs will appear from these extraterrestrials, usually around containment hubs, which mean like a base. A lot of the whistleblowers, you're hearing them talk about this stuff, like St. Helen, the water under Catalina, a lot of these places. And yes, I have been to the base under Catalina.
What's there?
I have been there.
Can you say what's there?
I could tell there's tunnels. I could tell you that. There's tunnels, massive tunnels the size of a 747. And they're going all across the country.
And has this been going on? You mentioned 1901 with contact. Is that as early as you know?
1901 was in an archaeological dig.
Okay.
So I actually, really close friend of mine, when I was able to at least share some of this with him when the time was right, he's like, how come you're involved so much? And I said, this is what people don't understand. They think, by the way, I love Tim. Tim is an amazing guy, but when he gets to this topic, and I understand he's not in this world when I lived it for 13 years, literally. Tim doesn't understand the geopolitical situation of this world. Everything going on when it comes to money, oil. The reason why we went into Iraq was not what people think. This goes so much deeper than people really think. And people think, oh, this is just there's no way there's a global entity at that level. How could they hide it so well? And see, here's the problem is there has been thousands of whistleblowers and leaks over the years, and many have been murdered.
So are you saying that these wars are the way we perceive them? They're not the official story is not true, which I believe that, but that there is a deeper evil happening that's within our government, within other governments, and are we fighting that evil, or is it evil versus evil, entities versus entities?
And so by the time I hit my 13th year, let's just say I had to pay a price to get out. I had married with multiple children. I wanted out. And I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real. You get tired of watching children's bodies be basically ripped apart by a creature that people don't understand what's out there.
And where are you seeing this?
Dog man. It could be a lizard man. Yes, lizard people are real. They are very real.
And our government has video of this, you say?
Yes. A lot of it. Yes.
Do you think we're getting close? If this is all going down and we have all these whistleblowers happening, do you think we're any closer to disclosure?
We are very close. Yes, I'll tell you this. So from my contacts, because I'm still involved enough to talk with the guys I know, and a lot of them are saying something. All I know is something big is coming for disclosure. Not crazy, not destructive. I know you've heard all the people online saying 2030 or 2028, or 2026. What I do know is there's a massive civil war going on in the deep state. By the time I left, so the Majestic 12 is real. Dick Cheney was one of them. So a couple of the senators, a lot of people speculate that Senator Rubio, before he went to the Trump administration, is part of the Majestic 12 now. If I remember correctly, one of the members passed away of old age, and retook his place. This is why people don't understand is that there is a galactic federation. They are very real. This has been going on a long.
And you believe that they're extraterrestrials, or do you believe that they're demons?
So here's what's strange. I know everyone's going to be like, "What?" I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I am a Christian. I am a born again believer. But I am going to tell you, because I have seen them face to face, and I have spoken to 2 alien species myself. One of them was telepathic. Yes, that is very real. This situation, guys, extraterrestrials are not demons.